They are the legendary brands that have dominated households all across the country. Facebook, Kroger, Kraft, Heinz, Procter & Gamble. And this week, those names will be in Cincinnati for Brandemonium. This is a gathering that features many of these industry giants sharing ideas on how to grow business. Joining us now to talk about what's new in year 2 of Brandemonium is our good friend, Kevin Canifax. Kevin, thanks so much for coming in.
Thanks for having me, John.
This is really kind of a unique way of approaching how people identify their businesses to their customers.
It certainly is. So Brandemonium is all about a gathering of people in the marketing and branding industry from across the country coming together to share ideas, to learn what companies are doing or particular products or services in terms of representing the brand, how they promote the brand. You know, it's interesting. Branding is at the top of the hierarchy. I think a lot of people think it's advertising or it's marketing, right, but everything begins and ends with branding.
Yeah, because how you feel about a product often begins with the brand. That is essentially what your brand is how people feel about your product, right?
Absolutely. Branding is your story. Branding is the essence of who you are, be it an individual. I mean, there is individual branding. There is branding for companies. There's branding for products and services.
Okay, what's going on with the actual conference itself?
Well, this is our second year. It literally just launched a few moments ago with Jay Sethi with Smirnoff Brands as a keynote speaker. We have people from all over the country, including those experts here in Cincinnati, who are getting together to listen to people speak, to listen to panels, talk about everything and anything related to branding.
Now, and you've figured out a way to actually involve people who are not necessarily in business, but to understand how branding works with events on Fountain Square and that sort of thing.
Sure. So another component of Brandemonium are brand activations, where we actually have companies come in and present whatever their product or service is via some sort of engagement, direct engagement. Maker's Mark actually is going to have a lounge on Fountain Square.
A lounge?
So it's going to be our happier hour. Yes, a lounge for all of the conference participants to spill out on the Fountain Square and enjoy some of Maker's finest products.
Would it be fair to call this a pop-up lounge?
Yes, it would be actually, you got the vernacular down very well there.
All right, and they're going to be making key rings and that sort of thing too?
Yeah. Whatever represents the Jim Beam Maker's Mark brand,
yeah,
it's all experiential marketing. It's about people coming up and engaging the product and the service. And it gets back to your point earlier about, you know, what does Maker's Mark represent? And this activation is really going to be a great way to manifest that.
Yeah. Now, when people leave from here, what do you hope they get from it outside of just a great view of what Cincinnati's like?
Well, I'm glad you brought up that point, but first and foremost, it's about learning. It's about coming to the conference. It's about interacting with everyone from a chief marketing officer of a major corporation to someone who's in the design group to someone in HR. I mean, a lot of people lose sight of the fact that branding is as much about the employees and how the employees represent the company as it is anything else. And Cincinnati, we were talking about this at the opening reception last night. One thing that Bill Donabedi and I are very proud about, we're co-founders of Brandemonium, is that we're bringing the country to Cincinnati, which is the branding capital of the world. We feel like it's our right to win, our right to own this designation. And we had people from Raleigh, Durham, North Carolina, New York City, and Seattle at our reception last night. They recognize this as a haven for brands.
Yeah, and it's going to be showcased over the course of Brandemonium.
Yes, it will be.
All right, Kevin, thanks so much for coming in and talking about Brandemonium.
Yeah, thanks, John.
And it is 8:41 now. We'll be right back.